Well, let's get some analysis now with Joe Siracusa in Perth, Australia. He's a Professor of Political History and Diplomacy and the Dean of Global Futures at Curtin University. Really good to have you back with us, Professor. We know that Donald Trump had promised to sign some 200 executive orders, and the bulk of which would concern the migrant situation in the United States. But I think many people have been surprised by one of the actions, including the suspension of the US's refugee resettlement program. Are we likely to see that amended in any way? I'm sure that many advocates will be considering legal action in order to have that reversed.
Good afternoon, Oscar. Yeah, that might be reversed. I mean, a number of these things will be reversed. Try to keep in mind that the president's attack on these undocumented immigrants, and I have conflict of interest here. My people went from Italy to America in the 1880s when it was an open door, and then they closed the door in the 1920s, tried to open it again, and so we had this kind of problem. Yeah, I mean, they'll make these kinds of adjustments. A number of refugees who particularly have status with American forces should get a free ride. On the other hand, they might get caught between the cracks. As I say, now the president's trying to repair an immigration system which is frankly broken down. He's going to try to round up everybody who commits little crimes and big crimes, detain them and deport them. He's going to try to sort of make sure the sanctuary cities can't fight this anymore. And look, Oscar, this isn't going to work. This all happened in the late 1920s and the 1930s when 2 million Mexicans and Mexican Americans were expelled from the United States on the grounds that they had no business there. So this is a quick fix. People are going to feel very good about it for a while. But keep in mind, these millions of migrants who come to America to work, very few of them commit for crimes. They're doing work Americans don't want to do. They're picking avocados and they're picking the grapes and the lettuce in California. They're working in Washington and New York and Chicago. They're doing jobs Americans won't do. And so in many ways, they keep coming because people offer them jobs. They don't want to pay the minimum wage and that kind of thing. So this is sort of a circular thing. Donald Trump may have some immediate satisfaction on this. But look, when you start rounding up people in schoolyards and, at bingo night or at the church or something like that, you're really picking a fight with the wrong people, because sooner or later, American people will turn against this as inhumane.
Typically, when governments around the world, including in Australia when you are, look to crack down on what they describe as illegal immigration, they do what Donald Trump is doing. They try to reinforce their borders, but they also increase their humanitarian intake of refugees. But what we have here is Trump looking to crack down on both. Do you think that, given the fact that now the lives of thousands of refugees who've already been told they can resettle in the US, now that their lives are in limbo, that particular action targeting refugees is inherently unfair?
Oh, it's not only unfair, Oscar, it's probably unconstitutional. This will make its way up to the courts. Keep in mind all those millions of kids out there, the dreamers, the children of the immigrants who came from these parts of the world without papers, who fought in the armed forces and have lives, who still live on the cusp of oblivion. They don't know what's going to happen to them. Let's say the system is broken and it's quite unfair. And I should imagine that a number of American civil liberties groups will be bringing this to the High Court. And yes, I believe the president will be reversed on this particular issue, as he will on a number of these issues. I mean, sending American troops to the border, that may not be technically illegal, but if they go into Mexico to take on the cartel, then they're at war with Mexico. So then it becomes very complicated. So now this isn't really the way to go about it. He made a number of promises that he can't keep, so he has all these executive orders coming. He's got everybody stirred up. And of course, I want to say something about Australia. Australians don't imitate this stuff. The Americans took this from Australia.
Okay.
About 25, 30 years ago,
Professor, I'm very sorry. We'll have to leave it there for now, but appreciate your thoughts as always.